All right, welcome guys to another video. This is another subscriber shout out. This is at user BD3ZY6W071 at user BD3ZY6W071 at user BD. I'm gonna leave it at that. When I refer to the user, I'm gonna just say at user BD. And he has a profile pic on next to his profile at user BD. He put on here, and this is a video that I made when I talked about our coaches hating on Coach Prime. This is when I talked about, the recruits that are being recruited by these universities, and these coaches using Coach Prime's name to basically win the recruits over. And I'm sure they're not using Coach Prime's name in a positive light, because you're not going to say something positive about your competitor. You're going to say something negative to attract the recruits to your team. Okay, so this is what at user BD said about my video. He says, "You can cheer for Gerard Mayo. He's woke like you." He says, "This dude is the biggest Deion stan prime sexual." He's talking about Gerard Mayo. Because he sees everything that Deion does wrong, calls him out for blatant hypocrisy, yet still cheerleads Deion. Deion's fans from the culture look at it as they are relating to Deion's kids. But what's ironic is that if their kids were on Deion's team and they were having their careers sacrificed for Deion's kids and friends, they would cry bloody murder about it. The nepotism and favoritism. If Kavasi Smoke or Willie Gaines were their brothers, sons, or nephews, it would hit different. Okay. You make good points there, user BD. You do. You're right. If it was their brother, it would hit different. My question to you is, well, let me just read my response. Read my response to him. I put excellent response. I love it. I will only cheerlead things that are worthy of being cheered for. So in other words, I'm telling him that he's basically implying that I'm almost like Gerard Mayo. He didn't refer to me as a prime sexual, but he did say because my video, see, even that video that I made, it wasn't overly negative because I talked about I'm still rooting for Prime. I want the team to do well. And I talked about the things that I don't like about what I see going on the football team, right? So at user BD's response is like, but how can you cheer on a guy that's doing things that are not right? But that's why I'm cheering him on, because I'm not cheering him on because he's doing things wrong in my view. I'm cheering him on because I have a passion. So let me read what I told you to kind of clear it up, to provide better context here, okay? I put excellent response. I love it. I will only cheerlead things that are worthy of being cheered for. Unfortunately, Prime has not done anything football related as of late that has provided me the opportunity to speak positively about his actions and how he leads his team. However, I still want to see Colorado University football do well. Is it fair for me to be critical of Prime and still want success for the team? And that's a question I asked to the thread, to you guys. Is it fair for me to be critical of Prime and still want him to succeed? Or do I have to be critical and want him to fail? And that's what I get to my comment next. I put, is that possible? Or am I supposed to be critical of Prime and wish failure for his team? I would never cheerlead hypocrisy. I will only cheerlead success. For an example, if Prime does or says something outlandish and acts in ways unbecoming of a coach, and his team is on some historical 7-game winning streak, hypothetically speaking, I'll remain critical of Prime, and at the same time, I'll be happy that the young men on the team are being successful. Is that wrong? So that's my take. Like, I don't know Gerard Mayo's channel. I don't know who he is. But however, I think he's probably like me in a sense, but I don't know how positive he's been. But I know lately I've been told that most of my messages are negative, and I want to kind of move away from that. But only when I find something that's worthy. It has to be something that hits me in my chest. I'm not gonna just make up something just to say, let me just be positive for the sake of being positive, because then I'm not being genuine to myself, and I don't want to be disingenuous. But I also don't want to be overly negative on my channel either. I want to be balanced. I want to be able to say things that I don't like that are happening, and also speak to the things that I do like that are happening. So here, I think that you can do both. I think that you can be critical of Coach Prime and also root for him and root for his team. Yeah, I could be both. Just like Lakers fans do it all the time with Anthony Davis, right? You hate the fact that he's always injured. Sometimes he's inconsistent. That's been a narrative with him. You're gonna be very critical of him. But when he does well, you're like, yes, he finally showed me that he can do something. Now when he does something well, you're now fixated on that positive. You want that positive outcome or that positive production to be more consistent, because you want to see consistency in the greatness. That's all I want to see from Coach Prime. When he came and talked about Louis luggage, I want to dominate. That's what I want to hear, because no other every coach in America wants to dominate. It's just that Coach Prime has a peculiar way of getting that message across. It's him. It fits his style. It's not prototypical. It's not standard. He does it his way. You don't have to agree with it, but every coach wants to dominate. Didn't Nick Saban dominate? Didn't Georgia dominate for a stretch there in the SEC? That's what teams want. Coach Prime said it out loud. So that's what I wanted. I wanted to see his words match the actions. I didn't see that. I would see certain things. I know that if you want greatness, there's a certain way you have to run your program. If you want greatness, there's a degree of perfection that you have to pursue, not just with wordplay, but even in your own actions. Okay, that's like me. I want to be good at what I do. I want to be good at what I do. When I get on YouTube and I'm giving my analysis on things, I want to be good at what I do. But how am I going to be good if I'm always listening? If I always decide to just cut off people who say things I don't agree with and only keep the people that I agree with? No, I'd rather grow individually than grow my channel. I don't care if my channel grows or not. But if I'm growing as an individual and I'm honing that skill of being able to take constructive criticism, that means that when my wife criticizes me, if she criticizes me, because she never criticizes me actually, but let's say if she does, or if my coworker criticizes me, or my boss criticizes, or anybody in life, my mom, my brother, my sister, if anybody criticizes me, I'm able to actually take it. Why? Because I've got practice off social media. Social media was my practice. Now when I hit real life, boom, I'm able to take it. That's the only way you grow, and people respect you more. But now, if you're always in your feelings and you're blasting back, man, shut the hell up, you know what you're talking about. No, I'm not going to do that. Even though people may respond to me that way, I've had, somebody actually wrote a comment, said I'm an effing hater. I didn't respond to that because I'm a guy, you don't have to curse. But even if he didn't curse, but when I hear you're a hater, I can't really respond to that, because give me specifically what I said that was hateful. Unbiased View did a wonderful job at not just calling me a hater. He didn't call me a hater. He laid down. He wrote comments, and he expressed himself in an articulate fashion that allowed me to respond, because critical thinkers could dialogue on that level. But if you're not a critical thinker, you just want to hurl out names. I can't respond to that because I don't know based on what. I'm hating based on what. So I'm not going to give energy to that. But if you give me reasons to why you think I'm doing something that's not correct, I'll do my best to respond to you. I will, because I think that's the way we grow. And I'm going to consider what you're saying and actually apply it. So I will try to apply more balance. And I'm sorry at User BD, like, I guess I'm going to be a prime sexual, because there are going to be things that I'm going to be critical about, there's certain things that Coach Prime is going to do that I'm not going to agree with. But it doesn't mean that I'm going to get on here and wish that he doesn't have success or wish that his team fails. I want to see them do well. When I talked about Alton McCaskill, his mom got on the thread. She was like, I didn't even know his mom was on there. She was on here. I was like, wow, the mother's on here. I want to see those young men do well, because he has good young men who believe in the vision of Coach Prime. They came there because they believed in what he was selling. I just want the product that he's selling to match the product that he's selling. I want his actions to match the product that he's selling. And I just think, I don't see anything positive from it. I know on Biased View, you're going to say, it's not a big deal, but even though I agree with you that I do need to be more positive, I just don't agree with you allowing your sons. And I know people say it's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, but then that's subjective. And what about other players who want to leave to do something else that's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity? Okay? To go to another country to model clothes. I just think that football has to be first. There has to be certain sacrifices you make, even if it's 8 months out before the season begins. But I get what you're saying. I'm going to do a better job with being more balanced. And at User BD, sorry, man. Like, I guess you're going to end up calling me a prime sexual soon, because I'm still going to follow the program. I'm not following them to see them fail. I'm following them to see them succeed. And in that journey, in that path, I'm going to be critical because I want to see them succeed. It's out of me wanting them to succeed that draws the passion of my critique. But I have to be very careful not to be overcritical and be too, or being perceived as being too negative. Because if I do that, then that doesn't bode well. So I want to be balanced. All right. Thank you at User BD. Thank you at Phyllis Taylor. And thank you at Unbiased View for you guys contributing to the channel. And I give you guys a shout out. I'll be 3 videos that I'll be posting on my channel. And thank you guys for contributing to the channel. And I'll do better. I'll do better in my next in future analysis of Coach Prime and the Colorado Buffaloes, or anything that I do, any message that I give, whether it's about Coach Prime or not. I'm going to do a better job of trying to be more balanced and not be too not to be too overly critical about any subject matter that I do. All right, thank you guys for listening. Leave a comment, tell me what you guys think. All right, bye.